And we had the, long tradition of samurai. I think we still have a very strong warrior mind. You can easily find two contradictional characteristics of Japanese cultures or Japanese characters. One is elegance, one is brutality. But these two characteristics are very tightly combined sometimes, and our brutality, I think, comes from our emotion. It is never mechanized or systematized like Nazis' brutality. And I think the brutality might come from our feminine aspect, and elegance comes from our nervous side. Sometimes we are too sensitive about refinement or elegance or sense of beauty of such aesthetic side. And sometimes we are tired of it. And we need sometimes a sudden explosion to make us free from it. And for instance, after the war, our brutal side was completely hidden. But I believe it is just hidden, I think. And I don't like the Japanese culture is represented only by the flower arrangement, such a sort of peace-loving culture. We still have, I think we still have a very strong warrior's mind in our. I particularly liked Kendo from the sense of beauty. But gradually I found out the traditional value of the Kendo, and it used to be close to the duel, death fighting, and old Kendo player wanted to get real experience of the border of death and life, And in the samurai tradition, the sense of beauty was always connected with death. And for instance, if he committed harakiri, the samurai was requested to make up his face by powder or lipsticks in order to keep his face beautiful after his such suffering death. I think economical prosperity gives some bored feeling already, and it gave a big, huge spiritual vacuum and unbearable boredom, particularly among intellectuals. But I think not only intellectual, but also among younger generations and half of populace, I think. And at the present situation, we are never satisfied, we are never contented. And we cannot believe such an economic prosperity. What it means. And we had the, long tradition of samurai. They lived for the honor and the spirit, and they despised and looked down any money. I found out it is quite impossible to transfer the old stylized beauty of the play, and I cut it off. I just picked up only the theme. For instance, in My Lady Aoi, the original play takes place in some court life in the 12th century, and I moved it into the modern hospital in 20th century. I think it was developed among populace, and it was considered quite a baroque, quite a bizarre place. And samurai was not permitted to go to Kabuki theater because it was considered quite a vulgar place. But in such a way, Kabuki developed itself in a remarkable way. It has a lot of baroque characteristics, mixing up of tragic side and the humorous side. At the beginning, Kabuki was acted by women. It's called a famous woman dancer called Izumo Okuni. But the Tokugawa government was very Confucianistic, and they prohibited the women on the theater because the actress was suspected as a sort of prostitute. And then Kabuki used the boys as a woman's part. But boys are also used as for the male prostitution. And the Tokugawa government prohibited it again. And then the Kabuki actors had to find their own way to act a female part, even by adult actors, which made a improvement in the technical acting of female role. And it started around the 18th century, and through the 200 years, they developed a marvelous technique to express female parts by man actors. I particularly picked up the student from the university where the conflict or trouble happened. And such a minority of students who cannot be involved into the leftist movement felt very isolated and very separated. And so they believed in some sense, they believed their own Japan and Japanese spirit, but, you know, it was completely denied by the leftist student movement.